Slapping an R rating on a film can denote a few things to the audience. For a comedy, that usually means exhaustive swearing and maybe a gross out slapstick violence sequence. Generally speaking, using that kind of content can also be a crutch to hold up on otherwise prepared movie with not much else to offer beyond a few stars and a cookie cutter plot. It's a way to get people in a theater. Edgar Wright's 2007 film Hot Fuzz takes the opposite approach. Wright, along with his usual stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, use the freedom the rating gives them to make a movie that is genuinely funny and a stir of action films, while also being an incredible action film in its own right. Wright, a devotee of Sherlock cinema, does not elevate genre cinema, rather he treats it with the respect it has always deserved and makes an excellent film in the meantime. Edgar Wright makes his mark on genre cinema. Wright's filmmaking style is heavily indebted to his own love of movies, specifically genre cinema. Horror films, noir films, whatever people would consider less than serious filmmaking, once relegated to the dustbin of film history, it has rolled back in recent years, with filmmakers like Seiji Suzuki and Sam Raimi being held to the acclaim they deserve, while Wright has made love letters to zombie films with Shaun of the Dead and to giallo films with Last Night in Soho. Hot Fuzz specifically deals with the police action films riffling on touchstones of the genre like Catherine Bigelow's Point Break. The give and take with any genre film is that they are usually made on the cheap, with simple plots and the bare minimum all around to maximum profit. The tropes often repeat themselves in every film, and you end up with a lot of very forgettable films. However, when a passionate crew is working on them, the results can be incredible. Wright is keenly aware of that and goes into the film with deep love and admiration toward the material he is working with. An R rating is very important to the kind of movie Wright is making. Any great action film is full of violence, blood skips, explosions, brutal fight scenes, and swearing detectives all make the genre what it is. However, there's a bit of an impasse. These films are usually dead serious. How do you make that funny? Outfast is a comedy after all, and Wright is certainly a comedic filmmaker. It is within that seriousness that Wright finds the humor of the film. Nick Angel, portrayed wonderfully by Simon Pegg, is the top cop in London before he is sent out to rural England for being too good at his job. When he arrives at Stanford, there is total culture shock. It is an almost crime-free town, beyond just tender underage drinking and the like. The police force is full of apathetic officers, highlighted by great performances by Paddy Considine and Olivia Colman years before they would become the big stars they are now. This is highlighted in a particular funny scene where we see Peg booking some kids for underage drinking, filmed with the panicky and the intensity of a Michael Mann shootout. But the rest of the film is defined by Peg's relationship with his most common co-star Nick Frost playing Danny Butterman, the man-child son of the Angel's new boss. Frost plays an action film fanatic who pesters Peg with questions regarding things he's done on the job or if he has seen Bad Buzz too. Peg and Frost play off each other excellent as usual, with Peg's subdued straight man allowing Frost to do his usual standard of comedic work seen in his other collaborations with Wright. His physical comedy especially shines, and he manages to flip that switch into action mode very well. Seeing both of them in this compared to Shaun of the Dead shows the range of Peg, especially who manages to play a super cop without it seeming slated at all. Combine that with the aforementioned deep cast, including Timothy Dalton as an evil supermarket baron, some great bit parts for Billy Knight and Martin Freeman as London cops, and you have the setup for an excellent comedy. Well, Hot Fuzz is more than an average comedy. However, Hot Fuzz is so much more than just a comedy. It is one thing to make a film that sends a popular genre that is pretty common in filmmaking and has been for a long time. Wright certainly pokes fun at the conventions of the genre, but for one, Wright is so adept at visual comedy. The way the camera moves, the set design, the blocking, even the editing makes you laugh. Unlike most comedies, Hot Fuzz has such a unique style that makes it stand out and allows for the comedy to come from beyond the performances and the dialogue. And beyond that, it is incredible action film. The final act of the film features some of the most memorable action scenes in a film from the 2000s, let alone in a comedy film. The action is filmed beautifully. There are memorable fights, each location and scene has its own unique feeling that makes the action feel even more dynamic, and that final almost kill is one of the glorious and goriest and skin-crawling scenes ever seen in a comedy film. Hot Fuzz stands out among the crowd of R-rated comedies because it does something with that label that no other film does. Where most comedies stick with the standard explicit content, it goes in a great direction, fusing action and comedy in a way that both genres manage to shine without either one undercutting the other. It is an excellent example of making an R-rated comedy with depth that has a solid structure, emotional beats, and still enough cross humor and bloody violence to really earned that R rating. Rat fused the genre seamlessly, and his love of the film, his paying homage to, comes through every moment of the film. It is a great action film, it is a great comedy film, and it makes the most of everything it has at its disposal. In a world where it is a great comedy film is getting harder and harder to find, Hot Fuzz is a hilarious film and one you should watch as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Go and subscribe this channel.